Hello and welcome everyone to one more video on the subject effective technical communication. We are here to discuss a topic from module 2. Our topic for discussion today is technical writing process. Previously, we have already discussed and learned about what technical writing is. Let me just review it a bit. So, we know that technical writing can be defined as a art of presenting technical information in such a way that the audience it is addressed to can understand and use the information. It conveys specific information about a technical subject to a specific audience for a specific purpose. And it is an art of delivering technical information to a technical or non technical user in simple and easy to understand way. Now we are here to discuss what are the processes that is involved in making a technical writing successful. So we know that technical writing requires specialized vocabulary, it requires precision and completeness. So, if I am to define what technical writing is, I can say it is the process of assimilating information in a proper order as per requirement. Now, there may be different components in different technical writing projects, but basically, every technical writing projects follow few basic steps. In the present slide, I have highlighted the definition given by Markel M. He says that technical writing is a process of creating, designing, and transmitting technical information so that people can understand it easily and use it safely, effectively, and efficiently. So, it is done in the workplace that we all know and centers around technical topics. Now, let's see how the technical process starts in the next few slides. So, here we see that the technical writing starts with planning, followed by structure, and then writing, reviewing, and finally publishing. The diagram here clearly states the different processes involved in the writing process. Now let's in the next few slides discuss in details about all these 5 writing process in details. So step 1 is planning. So planning, every work that is undertaken needs to be planned. That's the basic idea. And planning actually gives your writing a proper direction and makes the progress also measurable. So all projects, either technical or non-technical, needs to be planned. The importance of planning can be explained with the help of the maxim that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So the planning for technical writing requires a few things in mind, that is the number of documents needed, their characteristics, if the documents are to be published in multiple formats, their production requirements, the final date of submission of the documents, the time required for the editing and reviewing process, the steps to be followed, the structure that is required, the nature and education levels of the audience as well, the requirement and purpose that the document is supposed to serve, and existing information available. So planning should be done with a lot of precision actually to avoid obstacles in the later stages. As you all can see, here I have said that before you start planning, the things that you should ask yourself or keep in mind is the scope, that is how many documents I need to write. Just as I had previously told you all the things that I require to write do the planning, the same things are mentioned here: scope, timing, and process. And along with these basic questions, there are some specific writing related questions that you need to have an answer about, that is your audience, your reviewers, your existing information, style guide, templates, etc. So all what I said now is there related in the planning process. This step is very much important. Now let's move further and move on to next plan, that is next step, that is step 2. So step 2 is structure. Now, the structure of a document is actually where you do the proper sequencing of the subject matter. It's the backbone of a document. A well structured technical document is the one in which the headings are placed in logical manner to ease the understanding of the content. It creates coherence in writing so that every sentence, idea, paragraph is connected to the other. So, a structure should be developed before writing the technical document. The structure should be well planned with a good amount of brainstorming. Among various structural approaches that can be followed, there are 4 frequently used structure. Here we can see the narrative structure, the process based structure, library structure, and the system based structure. Now let's see what are these. So, the narrative structure, as it says, it follows the traditional approach. It has an introduction, it has a body, and a conclusion. And system in the process based structure, it is based on the sequence of the processes that take place. The initial steps are placed first, gradually moving on to the later ones. Next, we have the library structure. So, library structure is actually a collection of articles on a common topic. It is very loosely structured. Then we have the system based structure. So, this describes the components of a system. Components of a system such as an auto manual. So, whatever approach you choose, you will need to work with your subject matter experts to understand how the structure you have developed will accomplish the purpose you have set out to do. Whether it's explaining how a product works, or how to carry out a procedure, or presenting information in a sales in a tender or sales document, and so on. And we need to remember that only the people who are subject matter experts, they only will be able to suggest the best structure to accomplish the purpose of the technical document. Okay, now let's move forward and look at the next step. So we are here at step 3, that is write or writing. The slide reads, writing is where you convert your bare bones table of contents and notes into a series of drafts, culminating in a draft that's ready for formal review. That means writing is the stage where your table of contents takes the shape of drafts and it is ready for a formal review. And technical writing involves only 20 to 30% of the process, that is actual writing. The rest of the process involves planning, structuring, reviewing in the technical documents. Now, there are few techniques that might help us to write better technical documents. High quality documents can be written using the techniques that we are going to discuss now. However, the subject matters experts are to be engaged before the document is ready to reach the audience. Now, let's see what is it. The first one says KISS, that is keep it short and simple. So, the technical document must be simple to understand. Technical vocabulary is to be used to specify the subject matter, yet the document can be simple. Now, the next one says English, that is plain English. So, English may not be the native language around the world. You need to realize that. If the document is to cater to the needs of the audience who may be non-native speakers, it may be difficult for them to understand the information. So, it is advisable to use uncomplicated English to serve the purpose. Next is the 5 W's and 1 H. Now, if you're someone that needs to create content in order to create or connect with your audience, then you may find it difficult to produce quality material on a consistent basis. Now, if that's your situation, then this well-known writer's technique will be able to help you all, which is the 5 W's and H. 5 W's and H refers to 6 questions that you may ask while preparing a technical document. The questions are who, what, when, where, why, and the H is how. If you are a technical document writer, these questions will help you to brainstorm for ideas and map an outline for your content. Next, we have the inverted pyramid technique. Now, the inverted pyramid, as the name suggests, starts on the broader and the most important perspective. Please follow the figure that is given on the right hand side. So, it starts on the broader and most important perspective and keeps narrowing down, and it ends with the least important things. So as the figure shows us, so the lead usually containing the who, what, when, where, and hows of the article. Next we have the body, which contains facts and further information, most of which is necessary and reveal in order of importance. Thirdly, and the least important thing, is the fluffy stuff of little importance or fading into oblivion. So, inverted pyramid technique is a very important technique to be followed. Next, we have the verb noun structure. So, the verb noun structure is where the verb is placed before the noun. That is, the activity words placed before the nouns emphasize on the objectives to be achieved. The reader is able to understand or stay interested in the document when the verb noun structure is followed, rather than using the age old structure of noun verb. Okay, that is about verb noun structure. Next is active voice. This is a very simple one. The technical document should be written in active voice as far as possible. Using the passive voice actually complicates the sentences and puts undue pressure on the reader. So, active voice is easy to understand and simple to use. That's why. And one thing we should remember is that at this stage it's all fairly loose and informal. The formality comes in the next step, that is the review or the writing process. Review process. Now, here this particular slide actually consists of the pictorial representation of the writing process, where it is said that the writing process goes through 3 stages: pre-writing, writing, and post-writing. In the pre-writing, the planning is there. Then in the writing, you write a rough draft, which we just now discussed in the previous slide. And in the post-writing process, you just do the editing and understand the method and do the finishing too. Let me tell you a bit more about these 3 technical writing processes, that is pre-writing, writing, and post-writing. Now, the pre-writing is the stage where the technical writing is planned and finalized. Once here the framework is set and it is easy to proceed with the writing. So, chalking a framework actually helps to keep a check on the progress of the work and meet the deadlines. So, we can see, as it is written in the slide, the pre-writing stage includes the determining the goals, the audience, the constraints, the basic facts, and the tentatively established outline, format, and tone. These are there. You plan, you determine the need of the document, you determine for whom the document is to be written and what purpose it will serve for the audience. Then what will be the style of the narrative and in what tone will it be written, and also creating a complete framework and finalizing the components, and how we can also think of ideas of how can the writing differ from the conventional documents. So that all these things include in the pre-writing stage. Next is the writing stage. So here we have the introduction to the subject matter and providing a guide as to what is coming up for the audience. We have the sequencing of the document, structuring of the paragraph, structuring the essay also, and we also include visual aids. So that all is there in the writing stage. The last one is the finishing or the post writing stage. You here we do the editing. So we check for the alignment of the paragraphs and visual aids that are used in the writing. We revise it. So we revise the paragraphs. The document should be read like a well documented narrative. We also ensure that the document is free from all types of grammatical errors. All these things are there, and also whether it has maintained a uniform style and tone throughout the document. Proofreading is also done here, and the reviewing is a part of the post writing writing process. Here the reviewing of the document is made to make it fit for publication. Okay, let's move on to the next slide and go to the next step. So step 4, that is reviewing. Step 4 is actually a part of the post writing process where proofreading and editing is done. Here it says that it is where the document gets the trial by fire, so to speak, of having others formally review it, as well as undergoing another very important task, that is editing and reviewing, proofreading. So the point of all these activities is to apply the appropriate level of quality control to ensure your document is accurate, useful, usable, and so on. In other words, it's the main motive is to produce something or publish something that is good enough. It's not uncommon for documents to spend most of their time in the review step. Actually, it takes time, and at the end they can be completely unrecognizable compared to how they have started in the first draft. Here we have the last step, that is publish. So publishing actually completes the technical writing process. Now the document can be mailed, or it can be uploaded on the internet, or sent for publication. So the publishing process can be as simple as mailing a document, or it can be a complicated process too. This depends on the logistics that are followed by the publisher. By applying these steps, activities, and tools in technical writing, the technical writing can be customized to suit our specific needs, and a technical document can then be successfully created. I hope the technical writing process, starting from planning till publishing, is clear to all of you. We'll take up questions and solve it in the class. Thank you.